Ryan, I'll start with the line as a whole. Just through 6 weeks, how good do you feel about what you guys have been able to do, especially protecting Tom, but also in the run game?
Yeah, I think the last 3 weeks we've really improved on the run game from a communication standpoint to execution. And I feel like that's shown. We've had a couple little extra player meetings just to get on the same page and make sure we're seeing things the same. And it's really helped the last 3 weeks, and hopefully it'll continue the weeks following.
There's one thing I know you want to clean up. It's the pre-snap kind of penalties. You guys never talked about it. And last year when you went on the road, there was no crowd noise, right? So is that been part of it? And what do you have to do to erase those?
Yeah, I think crowd noise adds a whole new element to everything. From going from last year with really no fans on the road to this year having packed stadiums again, which is awesome. It adds another element and more communication and just making sure on the same page and staying disciplined.
Ryan, what have you seen from Leonard Fournette, especially over the last 2 or 3 weeks? It seems like he's really just hitting his stride and getting into a groove.
Yeah, I think again with some of those extra meetings we're having and just being on the same page is adding confidence to Leonard, and he's running the ball hard. And as an offensive line, there's nothing more you love than a running back that's willing to run the ball hard like he has been. So I think that's just something for him is the confidence level is back up again, and we're just running and blocking hard.
When you always know where Tom's going to be, right? He's a pocket passer that obviously helps your job if you throw the ball. But there are those times, and he's been good at it, where he's either had to run for a first down or he made a big play, outside the pocket the other day. Byron Leonard said it scares the hell out of him when he gets out there. What's it? Is it a surprise to you when he extends something, or?
Yeah, I know. I think sometimes it's a little bit of a surprise when he gets running out there. But man, he's looking pretty quick for being 44. No, it's a surprise at times, but the way defense have been playing us a lot, he's got to extend plays at times, and he's been doing good. And he's executing it when need be.
Right. There was that moment in the Eagles game where you had to play a little bit of bodyguard for Tom. Do those moments happen often with a guy like Brady? And I'm sure the opponents want to try to do whatever they can to rattle him throughout.
Yeah, I mean, I think any defense, whenever they get a pick or anything like that, it's one of those things always, block the quarterback and get in his face a little bit, make him think about it. Just running over there and just getting him out of his face. It's just is what it is. I saw it happening. Play was over, and I got to go, protect my guy.
In that case, Leonard Fournette's a guy who's been known for late hits and personal fouls. How aware going into a game are you guys of the opponent to get flagged for that stuff often?
I mean, I don't really look into that all that much. I honestly didn't know that about him.
Ryan, the Bears game last year obviously was kind of the most frustrating point of the season for penalties, especially on the line. How did you guys get out of that funk last year, and how do you do it again this year?
I think it was a choice we made to really sit down and evaluate what we're doing as a team and what's causing us to have those undisciplined penalties and figuring that out. And again, this year we've had a couple games where we've been really clean, and then it kind of creeps back a little bit. And I think just focusing on the details and the discipline of what it takes to play clean football is kind of what we're working towards.
Brian, you've kind of been able to keep your physicality, what you're known for, without getting penalties, and that's something that obviously you've been working on. What do you attribute that to?
Again, it's just focusing on the discipline and adjusting to the game and how they're officiating the game these days. That's something that I've had to adjust, obviously, and for me, it's been focusing on playing my brand of football, but playing up to that line and a little before that line is something that I've worked on.
Is that something you kind of look at, who's officiating the game, what kind of calls they're making prior to? Is that something you get down?
I mean, a little bit. We always look at the officiating crews and what penalties they've thrown in what games and so on. But, it's every crew's a little bit different. Every crew calls stuff a little bit different. So knowing a little bit of history of the crew, it helps a little bit.
In general, are they calling tighter games?
I mean, I'm not sure, to be honest.
From your perception.
It depends on the crew. I think, again, it's really crew to crew. Some crews let a lot of stuff go. Some crews, call a really tight game. So it's just kind of from a crew to crew basis.
Ryan, summer's finally over here. This milder weather for a unit like yours that never comes out of the game, really, how significant is that for in terms of home games?
I mean, it's one of those things. People say you never get used to the heat. You kind of do, though. Whenever it's hot, and obviously as O-line we play, as long as we stay healthy, we play every snap. and it just comes to making sure you're in shape and having that mental toughness and fortitude to be able to push through when it's hot and you're tired, you might be cramping a little bit, and just staying in the game.
Speaking of playing banged up and stuff like that, you've obviously been banged up. How great has this mini bye week, these 10 days, been off for you to get your heel, and what would you think that you're at health-wise?
I feel fine. I feel 100% now. The mini bye week's always good for guys to get healthy and get a couple days away, just kind of relax and rest the mind more than rest the mind and the body.
Right, they may not have hits on it, but this front, we've played them before, and everybody's good, right? But you got Mac on one side. I mean, how do they stack? What kind of challenges?
They're a very physical football team up front. Even their depth, they play a physical brand of football. You got Khalil, obviously, who's an all-pro, all-world type guy who comes after and plays the game very hard and at a very high talent level. But that whole front is a physical style football team, and that's what makes them good, is that physicality and the effort.
What have you seen from Robert Hainsey, how he's progressing as a rookie at learning a new position, and how much of help have you been to him?
Yeah, Haynes is great. He's a young guy, and he's really come on as like a very good professional. He's learning his routine and all that, asks the right questions. I feel like he's got a chance to be a really good football player. He's smart. He's learning how to play center, which is a tough position to play, especially when you play tackle. I played tackle in college, made that transition. Took me a couple years, but I think he's, in my opinion, he's trending in the right direction.